constituency. That should be around 7, 8 p.m. And this whole process will come to an end. But I'll come back to the studio. Saka of the MPP and Roger of the NDC are still with me. Saka, so we saw, we were having a conversation about how the police, has been professional. And Daryl was trying to have that conversation with Juliana, comparing what happened in Ablekuma North and what happened in Akwatia and what we are seeing now. What do you think has changed when you compare these 3 by-elections?
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed. I mean, this particular by-election, let's start with this particular one. This one, the stakes are not high. That's the reason why some people are saying, oh, by-election, where they're not there. Because they think that by-elections should come with fight. It should come with the police having to be busy everywhere. The media having to be reporting breaking news here and there. And then people chewing on those things. But this one is as dull as anything. I mean, and therefore, and the reason why this particular by-election is dull, I mean, there is no much work for the police to do other than media work. The police, you could see that this is a time for a police to come and show his English prowess, because there is nothing to do. But the others, and then the reason why it is so is because, I mean, it's almost like the outcome is known. It's like the outcome is known, and nobody wants to force himself and do anything. I mean, what is the big deal? I mean, we know who the winner will be. That's sort of. So we are only praying for a miracle. That's the only point.
Also say that the Ghana Police Service has learned lessons from.
No, they've learned lessons in the past, but you see, sometimes they will learn lesson and unlearn. For instance, before we went to Ablekuma North, we had by-elections, several by-elections. Akwatia, Wellensi, everywhere. We have, and all those by-elections had resulted in violence. But the Ghana police did not learn anything. So it's not like it is want of learning. I mean, sometimes it has to do with the players, the political players within at that time. So I'm saying that this particular one, the stakes are not high. I mean, the expectations are not high. Even the people themselves, and that is even more dangerous, because at the end of the day, the person that everybody is thinking will win, because of complacency, might not even win at the end of the day, But we all expect the NDC candidate to win, because that's their stronghold. But if you look at Akwatia and look at Ablekuma North, for instance, it's MPP stronghold.
But I mean, I've listened to a lot of your party executives, Nanabi, and they are confident your candidate is going to.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can be confident.
Saying
you can have a confident
NDC candidate.
You have the right to be confident. You get the point, and that's all. Nobody can prevent you from not being confident. I'm also confident that a miracle will come. But without that miracle, but you see, I'm confident, praying for a miracle. We all know that the NDC candidate is on paper is ahead. But there's something that somebody can do, something to break the jinx. Because, for instance, in 2000, this guy, Charles, what's the name? I mean, the comedian, Charles Kofuayo. He nearly won. He nearly won the Ayawaso East for the MPP. I mean, less than 50 votes or so that he was short of, between him and then Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed, the late Dr. Ahmed. So I'm saying that anything can happen, a miracle can happen, but we always have a forerunner. Just like in 2028, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be the forerunner. For that one, everybody knows, because he's the only person that is known now that will run 2028. Inshallah, if God gives him.
But that's not how. That's not how forerunners.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, because nobody can come and say that no, he won't agree. Because if you say we won't agree, who is your candidate? So, but we know the candidate. We know who from the MPP will run. And then the perennial running flag bearer of the NDC will no longer be there. That's John Dramani Mahama. Since 2008, it has always been, either the running mate or the flag bearer himself. And 2028, he will no longer be there. So the reason why the stakes are not high is because there's a presumptuous leader, a candidate, a winner, which is supposed to be the NDC candidate. But we are just praying that the MPP candidate should, do miracle. And if you look at Akwatia was such that it was, Baba Jama has ever been a member of parliament in Akwatia,
sure,
from the NDC side. So it's a swing state that MPP can win, NDC can win, and it's been swinging all that way. And then we had the demise of our candidate, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And we believe that the NDC government, by the fact that they were still enjoying goodwill, every government, when you win an election and within the first year, you enjoy a lot of goodwill. If not, it means that the election you stole it. You will have to have goodwill. People will have to forgive you, even if you are doing the wrong things. Because they believe that let's give them a chance to prove themselves. Let's give the government a chance to prove themselves. So it's like your wrongs are forgiven. Within that 1 year, they give you honeymoon to do the right things. And because of that, if you are going into an election within that period with an incumbent government that just won an election, you are not likely to win that election.
All right.
And then especially when they don't fear to push money. They are capable, and especially this NDC government, they are capable of pushing whatever money it is to win just an election. And look at what they did with in Ablekuma. Ablekuma, that we were going for just about 9 police stations. And those 9 police stations, but for all those shenanigans, and all manner of untoward things that they did there, the MPP candidate would have won. And even at the end of the day, look, the gap was too small. And I'm saying that if you look at Ablekuma, it has always been an MPP seat. Sometimes the difference between the MPP and NDC, almost 20,000 difference. But for the reason that it replicated itself, the whole Ghana, the MPP, could not win that seat outright. And because of that, the NDC said that, because they came closer and all that, they went and banned the electoral commission materials at the Ablekuma Center, at the school there. And even the PCs that the NPP presented, the NDC came and said that, no, you won't accept it. And then they said, where are yours? We don't have ours, but we will not accept yours.
All right.
And all those things.
Right.
So that ended them just taking, and at the end of the day, it was only 3 police stations that were to be contested. But the NDC fought and added 6 more to make it 9.
Right.
Because if they had contested on only the 3 police stations, MPP would have won. And
Right.
knowing that fact, they ensured that we got 9 police stations, and they won. So the stories are different. They're completely different, and then the security arrangement also will be different.
Sure.
So here it's the calm disposition of, even look at the policeman. He's watching his phone. He's enjoying life. Look at, I saw a policewoman, doing lipsticks and all those things, and then the other one was also speaking English.
Roger.
So I mean, this is a place to go and display whatever skills that you have,
Roger,
because the stakes are not high, and then the people are not, being.
Roger,
oligarchs.
I think that the Ghana Police Service deserves some commendation. We saw what happened in Ablekuma North. For me, they were a bit sluggish. I mean, if you look at how now they are manning the polling centers to ensure that if you do not have business at the polling center, you are not allowed into the inner perimeter. And you compare that to what happened in Ablekuma North. Clearly, you realize that some lessons have been learned.
We can't just make comparison to Ablekuma North without casting our mind back to that of Ayawaso. with the police, I think over
At
time.
least I'm talking about the current police
Yes,
administration.
but then it's all by elections. We should appreciate where we are coming from and where we have gotten to. You get me? And then with the IGP, you know, I think he's doing a fantastic job. If you look at the way he puts things in place and the way he's dealing with election issues or electoral issues in the country, then I would commend him. When it comes to the security of the country too, I think he's doing a very good job. And we cannot just limit the successes to him alone, but then to the interior minister, the national security, and then the minister in charge of national security. As a matter of fact, under their time, by elections.
But I'm not cutting you. But when it comes to election security,
I'm talking about election security.
no, I want to provide information. When it comes to election, the interior minister is not part.
I'm just once the police.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The police.
No, but he's in charge of
He's
the-
in charge.
Yeah, but
of
they
the
don't
police.
add him. He's
No,
not part
I'm
of
just-
election
I'm
security.
just-
But he supervises.
I'm
He
just-
doesn't supervise anything.
not the
Oh,
service. He,
the
I mean, he's
service.
in
Yeah,
charge
but
of
he
the
Yes.
service.
So what I'm trying to say,
That's the
the
arrangement
service, you
that we
cannot give
normally
credit
have.
to the service without giving him credit. As a matter of fact, your internal presidential primaries, we made sure you had a peaceful election. We made sure you had a peaceful election. Yes, it's on record that every voting center we had more than 70 policemen.
Are you a policeman?
No, man, I'm part
When
of
you
the
say
government.
you,
Yes, I'm part of the government.
You
As a
are-
matter of
what's
fact,
your
His
position?
Excellency the President,
but what position do you occupy in government?
every Ghanaian is part of the government, or you don't know.
Oh no, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm a government
I don't-
spokesperson, so I'm seeking for the
There are
government.
people who are part. We are part.
Please,
we are citizens.
please,
We are
please.
not government.
He's
Please.
a spokesperson.
Yes.
He speaks for the government.
Yes.
So he's part of the government.
So as a matter of fact,
No,
we
it's
made
okay.
sure you had a peaceful election. We made sure His Excellency the President saw the need to make sure that the peace that we are enjoying under his tenure and administration will be maintained, and we will not allow their attention to come and destabilize the country. And he called the Interior Minister, called the IGP, and called other stakeholders to make sure that the NPP runs a peaceful election. And to that effect, you had a peaceful election. So credit should be given to the president too for making sure NPP had a peaceful internal contest. Now, with the police presence at the Ayawaso East, as I rightfully said, Yewonu is on top of his game. He has been working ever since he was given the nod. And the reset agenda, I think it has really worked. You see, looking at what transpired at Akwetia, what transpired at, what's the name? I just supposed down. Domi Kwabenya, you realize that there have been developments after every phase of a by-election. And this is a clear indication that even people who might have had intentions of going to cause commotions or riots would not even dare to show up. This shows that he has instilled discipline into the system. And kudos to him, he is doing a very fantastic work. Now, to the issue of the election, the outcome, he has attested to the fact that the NDC candidate has the lead, and he is the people's choice.
So
He's the lead. He said he's a favorite.
Yeah, on
Yes,
paper.
he's a favorite. If
On
you have
paper.
attested, if you have
I
attested
mean, but everybody
to the fact,
knows that. Unless you want to play
if
the
you
ostrich.
have attested to the fact that he is the favorite, and
I'm
you
not saying he's
don't
the
have
favorite. Oh.
you don't have faith
It's
in
not-
your party, but rather resorting to miraculous,
This
miraculous,
is one of the reasons
miraculous
why when we come here,
out with
we
miraculous,
see red. You see
oh,
red and say
who is seeing red and
Baba
saying
Jama
blue?
himself said that when you see
Who is seeing red and
when you
saying
see a
blue?
goat, say it's a cattle.
You
It's because
are
of
saying,
some of
you
this.
are saying,
Because everybody knows that.
you are
I mean, on
saying,
paper, the NDC
you
is the
are
favorite there.
saying, you are saying
So what's your problem?
that the election is going in favor of NDC, and if anything should happen, it should be miraculous. That's what you are saying.
But of
That
course,
means
I mean,
that
so
means
what's the
that
problem?
on the face of fact and practical
What is that?
presentation or representation of facts and figures, the NDC is winning this
but
election.
But know that NDC is the favorite when it comes to
Saka,
Ayawaso East.
Saka, can we?
A favorite does not necessarily mean that he
ever
will win.
since you start on this panel,
yes.
You've been interjecting me
the
left, right, center, back.
You see, I'm doing that because of your utterances.
Let's.
You are doing like I'm the one.
Let's go to Mamobi. You see in your pictures the counting is underway. Let's hear some of the figures. Mamobi.
1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. 160. Yes. Now we are going to Sanda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. At the end of the voting process, please let me take a picture. Okay. Please, this is Alhaji Idrisu polling station 2. At the end of the voting process, these are the results. We'll go according to how the candidates has been arranged. Baba Jamal of NDC had a total vote of 160. Ibrahim Idrisu of LPG had 0. Baba Ali of MPP had a total number of 32 votes, 32. Sanda, independent candidate, had a total number of 33 votes, 33. And the last but not the least, another independent, Cardo David, had also 0 votes. We had 256 votes. 1 is rejected, 226 votes. 1 rejected. So that is the results. Thank you very much.
So this is our proceedings ended here at the Alhaji Idrisu Center B, and we headed here. We'll be getting to other centers to bring you how things went. So Alhaji Idrisu House 2 has ended with its counting and declared its result. We're going to center A to bring you up to speed on what really is transpiring here. So as you pick the feed live, it's the same thing, so that we go to the other side and then also get you details as to what is happening here. So soon we'll get there and then also give you up to speed on what really has transpired there so far. So when it gets there, we will let you know. But we're still here at the Alhaji Idrisu Park, where Center A now. So very soon we will get there, and then
David had nothing. So thank you very much. We have 1 rejected ballot. So at the end of the voting, Alhaji Idrisu's House 1B, candidate number 1 had, which is Baba Jamal, had a total number of 73. Candidate number 2 had nothing. Candidate number 3, Baba Ali, had a total number of 27. Candidate number 4, Umar Sanda, had a total number of 35. And candidate number 5 had nothing. We have 1 rejected ballot. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the story here at the Alhaji Idrisu house 1 and 2. It has finished. It is peaceful. It has come, like we said, and so the POs have come out and declared it. So, as it stands now, it's Baba Jamal that won from these two centers here. We'll be getting to other centers because there are more than 190 plus centers in this enclave here, and so we'll be bringing you up to speed on whatever will be transpiring in other centers as well. And so stick with us on social media everywhere. Add your comments, your suggestions to it on GBC Ghana online, sending your text messages as well on the numbers displayed on your screen. And then let's see how it goes. Go on Facebook and also drop in your comment there. If you can give a shout out to our police force who have been exceptionally good, exceptionally professional indeed. Ghana police, really, they serve with integrity. They've done it without any other problems here. And so we say a big thank you to them. We're going to other centers, and whatever will transfer there, we'll bring it to your doorstep.
That was Theophilus Sampa reporting from Alhaj Idris House, Station 1 and 2, or A and B. So the results as we have from Alhaj Idris House, Station B, Baba Jamal got 73 of the votes. Baba Ali also got 27 of the votes for the MPP. Omar Sanda, who is the independent candidate, got 35, and David, who is also another independent candidate, got 0 of the votes. Polling station A at the Alhaji Idris House, Baba Jamal of the NDC had 160. Idris of the LPG had 0. Baba Ali of the MPP had 32. Umar Sanda, an independent candidate, had 33, and David, who is also another independent candidate, had 0. Results coming in from the Alhaji Idris House polling station. We report. Theophilus Sampa, a man on the ground, just give us those updates. Roger, are you surprised at all with the figures we're recording so far?
No, I'm not surprised. As I told you, the game is on the ground. And then over the period we have been on the ground, I stated here that the lovely people of Ayawaso, they are going to vote based on policies and how the governance has affected their life. And I state here categorically clear that there is a trickle-down effect of the management of the economy that His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama has championed, and the people of Ayawaso East are no exception to that benefit. They've benefited when they buy fuel, they feel the reduction in prices. You see, first time in Ghana's history that people do not only pour libation with alcohol, they pour libation with fuel.
They are insulting Ghanaians.
They pour libation with fuel. We've seen the videos on social media, and that is a very realistic fact. The lovely people of Ayawaso East are going to give us a very wonderful
We see Omar Sanda putting up a good fight. Polling station B, Alhaji Idris House, he had 35.
Yeah.
And then with the A, he had 33. We even hear that in some polling stations, he won.
No,
he won
as
those.
a matter of fact, being one of us and then having that kind of impact and influence in the environment, he's going to actually take some numbers. And with the analysis Musa Dankwa did, he made mention of the fact that he would get some of the numbers, but the numbers he was taking from NDC was relatively lower as compared to the number he was taking for the NPP. As a matter of fact, the NPP candidate should have stepped down and backed him instead, because I'm sure he's going to have votes more than him. So it's not surprising. He's been on the ground. He's been with the people. Some are going to follow him. Some are going to vote for him. But as to whether he is going to come out or emerge as the winner is the issue of concern. As a matter of fact, our Baba Jamal is going to come out victorious, and I'm certain that we are going to hover around 70–75%.
Saka, are you impressed with the performance of your candidates so far? Did you say you guys were really on the ground? You gave him all the support that he needed?
Well, I mean, I'm here to hear some of the results. We just had two results, and then the two results, I'm not happy with the performance of our candidates, but I'm hearing maybe elsewhere he's doing well and all those things. But I think that no matter what happened, we should give the NDC a run for their money. Because NPP is not just any party. It's not just, any party at all that is also participating. We participate in every election to win. Every election, even in the water region. I mean, who can believe that NPP will win Hohoe the last time? Hohoe of all places. We won there. We won places, even in the water region, in some other places and all those things. So I think that it's never beyond our means. I mean, this elusive seat of Ayawaso and all that. One day, I'm sure, if we get our acts together, if the NPP really, there's this saying that nothing is difficult for somebody who set his mind to it. If we set our mind to the fact that we want to ensure that by close of 2028, the Ayawaso East is gotten. We can get it. Ayawaso East, Ayawaso North, some of the traditional NDCCs. In 2024, NDC took some of NPP traditional seats, a lot of them.
So much.
Ayawaso Central, Ayawaso West Wagon, Domekwa Benya, Ablekuma North, so many of those seats. That since 1982, the NDC had never won those seats when NPP is participating. I said that because in 1982, NPP didn't participate in some of them, like the Ayawaso Central, and all other seats. So the NDC took them. But since then, they have not been able to take those seats. So it is as a result of good work. If you work hard, ensure that you grease. It's not like an event. Some of these seats, to win, to take a seat from an incumbent, or to take a seat from a traditional incumbent, it takes grit, it takes processes, it takes a lot of commitment. You cannot win it by accident. You have to intentionally do it. You have to, systematically ensure that you put in measures to take those seats. And, I was East, I was North. It's not that it's not beyond MPP. We can take these seats. But currently as we are, because we have not done enough, in terms of convincing the people that we can win the seat. There's no way that this particular by-election we can win it. But I'm saying that in the future, and especially in the nearest future, that is the next general election, NPP can win that seat and win it handsomely. Because, how come Kofi Waye nearly won it for the NPP? First of all, even the selection of the candidate is important. The selection of that candidate. The candidate must be very resourceful. He must be a candidate that comes from the area, that is well known. He has, the person must have facial recognition, name recognition, and then the resources together with the party machinery. If we have all these things in combination with giving it to one person, right. It will give the NDC person a run for his money. But where we haphazardly take people, somebody come from nowhere with some few coins, then you say, oh, let's go and take the person, and then you leave the person to chance. We should be able to, rally behind such a person like this particular candidate. We should be able to rally behind him, give him all the resources, ensure that even when he is not there, we have the party executives campaigning. But because we've already put our hands in despair, knowing very well that we
right, so Saka, we get updates from the Ghana Police Service from the St. Kizito voting center. Let's hear what the service has to say now.
And the regional commander, operations, our officers, and the men, everybody is here. And you can all testify that this has been one of the most peaceful by-elections that we have witnessed as a country. And we are very happy with how things have gone so far. And as polls have closed and we are getting ready for the collation, we are confident that our deployment at the collation center is adequate to cater for any eventuality.
In terms of what you've seen across the 114 polling stations as well, this is just the collation center. What are the reports you've picked up, if any, in relation to the exercise the entire day?
So we've been through a number of polling stations, and just as you have all observed, the election was very peaceful.
Okay. What about the deployment of these tactical forces? Was that not too necessary?
It's always necessary to be adequately prepared. So we deployed. If anything had happened, our men would have been prepared to respond sufficiently. Thankfully, everything went peaceful. We haven't recorded any incidents at all, and we are happy. It means that our deployment have worked. It means our stakeholders have played their parts well. And let me also commend the people of this constituency for having comported themselves very well. As we grow as a nation in our electoral processes, we hope that everybody learns that election is not about fighting, it's not about violence, it's just about come and cast your votes, make your choice, and let peace prevail.
And so, Maurice, that is the police's briefing of what the day or how the day has gone so far. We pulled away because she is currently transitioned from the English language into the local Tree dialect, and that is what she is currently doing. Or repeating what she had told us in the English context in the Tree dialect, just so that we know where we are with the police's operations and how the day has so far gone for the police service. Results are trickling in slowly. Maurice, where I am currently, we have only just seen the polling center 1 or A, if you like, come through with some very interesting, really interesting numbers. And we're waiting to receive all 3, and then we're able to supply them to you or read them out to you as they come in. We only currently have for polling center A or 1, which is currently in your shot. And it has really turned out some really very interesting numbers, Maurice, if you ask me.
Dara, if you have them for that particular polling center.
Yes, I have the numbers for that particular polling center, and I can share them with you if you'll indulge me, Maurice, really. And so at this St. Kizito polling center A or 1, as some refer to it, we have the NDC with 34 votes. NDC 34 votes. NPP 9. LPG 1. Independent candidate Omar Rusanda 2. Independent candidate Beta Nima 0. Rejected ballots 1. Total sum up of vote came up to 47. And if I'll have to go over it again for you, Maurice, NDC polled 34 votes. The NPP polled 9. LPG 1. Independent candidate Umar Sanda 2. Independent candidate Beta Nima 0. Rejected ballots 1. That so far is what we have for polling center A. We're waiting for B and C, or 2 and 3, which I will share with you immediately. I get them. Come to me, Maurice.
Thank you very much, Daryl. So we'll be waiting to get the results from polling station B at St. Kizito voting area. So Baba Jamal got 34 of the votes at St. Kizito polling station A. The MPP's candidate Baba Ali had 9. The LPG's candidate had 1. And then the other independent candidate, David, had 2 of the total valid vote cast. We still have Saka in the studio. Saka, the results, beginning to trickle in. Yeah. But then, as a political party, will you say you have, treated the people of Ayawaso East well in terms of extending development, educational infrastructure, health infrastructure, and what have you?
Yeah, I mean, with MPP and then Ayawaso East as part of the Zongo Development Fund, Nima is one of the biggest Zongos in Ghana, and therefore they had their fair share, especially when it comes to human development. I mean, you have apart from enjoying the free SHS, apart from all the things that every other person within Ghana enjoys, they has a special niche, and that led us to create the Zongo Development Fund, which became a Zongo ministry. And then that ministry actually solicited for their needs. I mean, there was this needs of having to educate them, having to ensure that we develop their human capacity. Some of them went to do doctorate courses in Cuba and other areas through the instrumentality of government and the MPP government and all that. I talked to you about the Arabic language, where the Arabic instructors, they were not being paid through the central government, but under the MPP, we ensure that they are paid and paid well, and therefore ensure that the Arabic teachers also get something to do with their family, and to encourage others to also, become Arabic scholars, and to impact both knowledge of the Islam and that of English and another thing, so that it can be a profession and all that. We have seen development when it comes to schools. Their needs when it comes to schools, when it comes to drainage, when it comes to whatever that they need. We have seen, the recreational areas being developed. I mean, where the central mosque is and all those things. We've seen, I mean, the work that was put in by other government and what the MPP also put in, to make it as it is today. So the MPP has always been for the people of the Ayawaso East. It's just that, I mean, even as at now, one cannot tell the reason why they've not been our allies. But it has to do with tradition rather than the current situation. I mean, currently we all know, I mean, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we know him, and then we know the love he has for the people. And we know, some of us and what we can do and not do. But I'm telling you the way it is. The people are even ready to vote for even a Christian against a Muslim.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not like religion. It's like the party take, dominant position. So, for instance, Baba Jama were not Baba Jama, and it was a different person who is not even a Muslim. I'm sure the person would have still won the Ayawaso East for the NDC. So it has everything to do with the party traditionally that these people support. Yeah. Not so much about we have brought some policy. What policy? It's not about any policy. It's about, I mean, the party that they support. That's the reason why you and I mean, we go to the voter region. No matter the policy I bring, no matter the superiority of my ideas, they will not vote for me. They will vote for somebody else who is coming from the stock of the NDC. That's how it is. So it has nothing to do with policy. It has everything to do with partisanship.
Right.
And that culminated in this. I don't even know the campaign message of Baba Jama. And anybody can tell me what the Baba Jamal is bringing.
Right.
It's bringing completely nothing.
Right. So we see our correspondent, having that conversation with the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande there. Let's listen to what he's saying now.
It's a violent-free election. Number two, it's been very peaceful, professional. Everybody have done their work well. There haven't been any sort of unprofessionalism and anything that we can complain about. The only issue is that the turnout have been low.
Your opponents say it is because you denied this constituency development. That's why they didn't come out to vote for you this time.
Who lives just here? A president who have been in power for 8 years. He's been at the mercy of the love of this constituency. Why didn't the MPP campaign on his contribution into this community? This is his house. So we know that developing a community is a gradual process. There are a lot of people who have come out of this community who have developed. You don't take a period of a by-election to change lives. It's not possible. But we know that with good leadership in place, the effect of the good governance will offer the platform for people to grow. We don't want to govern this country how the MPP want us to do it. Because governance takes a lot of time and it takes process, unless there is a cosmetic governance. And that is not what President Mahama is doing.
How sure are you that the constituency will vote for your candidate?
No. I'm saying that what the MPP have done in the last 8 years, there is no election in the history of this country that they will not pay for. In the conscience of the people of Ghana, President Akufo-Addo have led the most fraudulent regime which has deprived these people of Ghana what they deserve. It is in the conscience of every Ghanaian. Two, the fact that they have even come to tell you and I that, oh, you have not been able to prosecute us, and so we are not criminal, is in itself speak to tell you that they lack conscience. Because we all know who they are and what they have been. Number two, if 100 people have voted in this election, 80 would have voted for the NDC. That one I can assure you. The voter turnout issue, generally in every by-election, the voter turnout are very low. And the peculiarity of this election is that it happened on a working day. Two, it happened on a market day. Today is a market day for Nima. Three, it also happened at the time Muslims are fasting, a very important exercise in the life of every Muslim. Two, it also happened at the time Christians are fasting. So these factors will contribute to a low voter turnout. I have heard that they said we haven't pumped money into the constituencies. That should tell you who they are.
Will you be disappointed if your candidate didn't win, and why will you be?
There is no way my candidate will win in this election.
There's no way he will win?
I have the assurance of the people of Ghana that if the prosecutorial systems, the laws of this country does not hold MPP people responsible and to account, nature will hold them responsible.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gbande.
All right, so that was Mustafa Gbande. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Director of Operations at the Presidency, talking to our correspondent, Daryl, there at the St. Kizito Voting Center. Results from polling station B still currently ongoing to be counted, and we'll bring you those results as well as other results across the constituency. But the figures are becoming pretty clear, the direction that we go in. And by close of everything, we are able to better understand who becomes the MP elect for the people of Ayawaso East. We still have Roger of the NDC in studio. So Roger, I mean, it's becoming clear, very much likely Baba Jamal will win that particular constituency. Saka was saying that he's not heard what the campaign message of Baba Jamal has been. Moving forward, really, what's the plan? What will be the reward for the people of Ayawaso East if they hand over this seat to you?
I would have loved if he was able to mention their campaign message, because I was on the grounds and we preached to the lovely people of Ayawaso East the policies of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama, and that could affect their life, and how Baba Jamal can fuse his vision for the constituency into that of His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama. On the other hand, whilst we were on the ground, one of the messages they were preaching was that they are even the systems that they are using for campaign is even better than that of the NDC, and then the microphone is even clearer, which is not policy. You see, those kind of this thing. And just like Mustafa Bandi rightfully articulated, they are of the view that once you are an incumbent going into an election, you need to go and spray money in such an environment or constituency. We as a government will not do that. We want to make sure that we preach the policy and work on things that will affect lives, rather than inducing or motivating just for getting the people to the polls for our self-centered parochial interests. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. As a matter of fact, as I said, we have explained the dynamics of what is happening in Ghana to the lovely people of Ayawaso East. We've spoken about the 24-hour, we've spoken about the foundations we've laid for employment, we've spoken about the situations that needs to be enhanced, and as a matter of fact, when it comes to the infrastructure touch, we have already commenced activities that they can see, feel, and touch. So it is evident that that is the democracy they are looking for and the representation they need. Aside that, you know, politics has to do with lobbying, and leadership will always have to see into the future and someone that can deliver. And Baba Jamal, over the period, has delivered beyond human reasonable doubt, to the extent that he has selflessly given himself to the lovely people of Ayawaso. So they know that we are not just promising, but we are delivering even when he was not. As a matter of fact, when he went into the primaries and he lost earlier, he still stood on platforms to campaign. He still served the people. When he was appointed as ambassador, he still supported the constituency. And you know, charitable exercises that he's done in the constituency. He is noted for delivering. And as a matter of fact, he is going to represent the interest for the public good. And that is enough for the people to vote for him.
What should they expect from
Oh, they should expect transformation. You see the 24-hour market, the 24-hour market that the president promised. I think discussions are underway. Baba Jamal is going to make sure that Nima gets its fair share of the 24-hour market. So Nima should be expecting the 24-hour market. Aside that, other initiatives that would propel or transform the face of economic activities in the sector or in that area, they should be rest assured that Baba Jamal will deliver. They should be rest assured that Baba Jamal is going to touch lives in that constituency.
All right, so we're still waiting for results from the over 100 polling stations in this particular constituency. Quickly, I'll take you through some of the results as we have them. So results from Al-Hajj Idrisu House, number 1, Baba Jamal had 160. Ibrahim Idrisu had 0. Baba Ali Yusuf of the MPP had 32. And Omar Sanda, who is an independent candidate, had 33. David Kano, also an independent candidate, had 0. We go to Al-Hajj Idrisu House Polling Center 2. Baba Jamal had 73. Ibrahim Idrisu had 0. Baba Ali Yusuf of the MPP had 27, and Omar Sanda had 35. David Kano An independent candidate had 0. St. Kizito Voting Center A, Baba Jamal of the NDC had 34. Ibrahim Idrisu of the LPG had 1. Baba Ali Yusuf of the MPP had 9 of the votes. Umaru Sanda, independent candidate, had 2. And David Kano had 0 of the total valid votes cast. All right, so those are shots coming to you from the St. Kizito Voting Center. We still wait for the results of the other polling center to be sorted and counted and declared. But we have shots from the St. Kizito Voting Center there as we prepare to bring you results from across the constituency in this particular election. We'll go for a short break. We'll return soon.
If you are looking for your people to give you the results, you can use some of our
So far, so good. I'll say one of the best organized by elections. I remember His Excellency John Dramani Mahama indicated in 2024 that under his watch, electoral violence will be a thing of the past. He will not accept it. He will not encourage it. It will not allow it. We did Akotia. It was very peaceful. We are here today, and one of the best organized one. No incident whatsoever. That tells you that he's living with what he promised, and I can assure you, it will continue.
You must be disappointed with the voter turnout.
I am not disappointed because looking at the exigency of the time we find ourselves, this is Ramadan. The whole community is hugely dominated by Muslims. They are fasting, and we are subjecting them through this. Naturally, we should have postponed it, but constitutional, we can't. The constitution stipulated 60 days, and then so we are boxed with the constitution. We cannot, and then so we have to rather congratulate them for doing this yeoman's job. The money to defy these all difficulties came out and voted massively for the...
Your opponents are saying they have turned their backs on you because of lack of development in this constituency. How do you respond to that?
The results does not show that. The results rather gave us confidence.
What are the results?
Yes, so far I have 93 polling stations, and we are doing 8,845. They are doing 3,000.
Interesting.
That tells you that there's mark of confidence for the John Mahama government.
How confident are you then that come in the next few, let's say, year or into the next election, you'll have a similar turnout?
In fact, it will be massive. Next, after 20, you see, they shouldn't have contested this election. I told them, I don't know who advised them to contest this election. See, these are the things they do and give BP to their supporters. Because this is not the election you should contest. They should go and do research for their party. For now, NDC is performing. You see, a party performs when the government is on top of issues. Interestingly enough, our government is performing. And so it makes our campaign easier. That is why we've gotten this massive victory today.
There's rather a very worrying accusation which says you used the police to suppress voters. Is that what you did?
Ayawaso West Wagon, when they use those tax, sponsored tax, brutalize people and beat MPs all over, in the place. That one, they didn't see anything wrong with that. Today, did you see anybody handle even a weapon? Even a stick. None of the police even holding a stick. Just there. And they were playing with the voters. This is what John Mama has promised, that it will be peaceful. Come and vote and go. It was so lovely. Unlike our own opponent, macho men, if you see one of their muscles, I don't know whether they were going for Ukraine to fight. Look at how they brutalize people. And I'll watch, it won't happen. We'll make sure the election is peaceful, the people have voted, the verdict is very clear, and they have given a good verdict for the NDC.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tanko. We'll leave it here.
I am still interested in your...
All right, you're still watching our coverage of the Ayawaso East by-election. The results trickling in very fast. We'll be running by you some of the results as we have gathered them. These are unconfirmed results that we have, not uncertified results we have from the polling centers. Thelma joins us in studio. Thelma, you have some of the figures. You just want to run through them quickly.
So these are uncertified results. We're picking these numbers from the grounds. The EC is yet to make official declarations on some of these polling stations, but like we've showed you in the morning, our team has been on the ground monitoring proceedings across the constituency, and they've been able to get these figures for us. So I have some of them for you. Nima 3 polling station, NDC 85, NPP 68, and the polling station B at that same center, NDC polled 88 and NPP polled 55. Trying to, where possible, I'll bring you the numbers for the other candidates as well. Homitel, Grace Preparatory School, Center A, NDC polled 77, NPP 49, the independent candidate polled 2, and the second independent candidate also polled 2. Total number of registered voters at that center was 268. And then at Center B, the NDC polled 72, NPP 53, independent candidate 4, and the second independent candidate polled 0. So there were no figures for the LPG candidate at any of these centers. And still at Grape Prep School, Center C, the NDC polled 77, no figure for the LPG candidate, NPP 53, the independent candidate scoring 0, and the second independent candidate scoring 1 out of a total of 287 total registered voters. Ebenezer polling station B, the NDC's Baba Jamal polled 55, the independent candidate scored 0, and Umar Sanda also scored 0, polled 0 votes. The LPG candidate also polled 0 votes, and the NPP's Baba Ali polled 19. The no rejected ballots were recorded at this center. At polling station B, same Ebenezer polling station, but station B, NDC polled 92, the independent 0, NPP 28, Mr. Sanda polled 1, Kanda GNTC, NDC 84, NPP 62, Mr. Sanda 3, and Kano polled 5. So the results are still trickling in. The Roman Catholic School, Nima, Center 1, NDC polled 51, NPP 14. At Center 2, NDC polled 58, NPP 12. NDC 58, NPP 12, and Center C, NDC 34, and NPP 9. So we are fast beginning to see a trend. Kanda Estates B, NDC 59, independent candidate 0, NPP 40. The LPG candidates polled 0, and the defected NDC man now contesting independent polled 4 votes. Presby Church of Hope Center 2, NDC 87, NPP 26, Umar Sanda 19, LPG 1, Conor David 0. Frankie's Annex A, NDC 87, NPP 21, Umar Sanda 7, LPG candidate 1, and David Conor polled 1. 2 rejected ballots were counted at this center. And Nuria Islamic School Center A, NDC polled 105, and the NPP candidate got 41 votes. Center B, NDC 120, and NPP 39 votes. So these are the figures that we have. Presby Church of Hope Center 1, NDC 90, NPP 32, Umar Sanda 14, LPG candidates 0, and Conor David also scoring 0. So these are some of the figures that I have from the grounds, Maurice. So many of these are provisional figures until the EC officials officially make the declaration, and then we can add them to the tally to give us some idea of where we stand, Maurice.
So, I mean, if you look at the figures in some of the polling stations, it's a close contest between the NDC candidates and the MPP candidates. The Nima Tree polling station, for instance, the NDC Baba Jamal had 85, the MPP had 68. You know, that was very close. But as to whether that is going to, have an effect on the general figures is what we wait to see. You also look at the Hometel of Grace Preparatory School A. The NDC's candidate had 77. The MPP also had 49. I mean, given the fact that the Ayawaso East constituency is a stronghold of the NDC, and you look at the figures we had in the 2024 general elections, the NDC candidates had about 30-something thousand votes. The MPP guy had around 15,000 of the votes. It does appear that the contest a little bit close, even though by close of polls we know exactly how the results will look like.
It's not sharply different from the trend that has been expected or anticipated with the low number of persons who are turning out or who did turn out at the polling stations to cast their votes. It is more likely that if more and more people do not turn out to vote, more and more of them would be those who would have been expected to vote for the NDC. And the low numbers, some had tipped, would always go in favor of the NPP because their supporters may feel that, like some have said, it's an NDC seat. There was no need to, struggle with them over it. The goal for them would be to increase the margins. So one of our analysts did make the point to say it wasn't about the actual outcome. The outcome is already more or less a done deal, but it's the margins and the percentages that will make a difference in this. And you referenced rightfully the 2024 elections. A sharp contrast is that this is a by-election, so there's always the expectation that the numbers will be very, very low, almost similar to what we see in district-level elections. Remember also that we did not see an active campaign happening in Ayawaso East this time round. We are housed in Ayawaso East constituency as GBC. I was a witness to NDC's candidate Baba Jamal coming to the corporation to, as he said, visit his constituents. And I'm told that he made a number of stops around some of the companies in this area as well, including at our neighbor's doorstep too. And so I did not see anyone from the opposition NPP out there canvassing votes, asking people to come out, because again, perhaps the suggestion they knew that it was an NDC stronghold, and so they were ready to just, just go with the flow, more or less. But has the absence of an active campaign likely cost them a seat in the face of, or in the midst of, the apathy that obviously has not worked entirely in favor of the NDC? Those are conversations we can be having in the coming days.
But I see Alan, getting ready to update us with, some of the results from the polling station he's been reporting from. Alan?
Ayawaso East constituency, where today, due to the demise of the sitting MP, Mr. Toure, a by-election has been successfully conducted here at the constituency. And what you can see behind me is a white Mercedes-Benz truck, which is the EC's receptacle for all the polling materials across the various polling stations in the constituency. And so every other polling station, when they get here, what they do is to deposit their material by this Mercedes-Benz truck, and then they go towards my left, where they deposit for the final collation what will be their pink sheet at this point where you can see in your shot currently. Once they deposit what will be their pink sheet to the final returning officer at this constituency, they will then leave. What is really very interesting, however, is how the police slowly but surely marshalling their numbers in anticipation of the final declaration. What you will have now in your shot is police in prepared riot control gear on standby. We earlier had police who were in normal police gear, and these were the ones Mr. Tanko Computer referred to as ones playing with the voters. But this time round, we have a transitioned police uniform from the normal police uniform to one that has riot control gear on. They have their batons, they have their shields, and I see their commander backing orders, and they are responding accordingly. Besides that, we still have some more constituencies coming in, more polling centers coming in with their polling or their ballot materials, walking towards the Mercedes-Benz truck to deposit their material there. I earlier spoke to one EC official who has joined us from a polling station somewhere around Mamobi, and I wanted to find out what her impression had been, especially given that what we have here is a heavy police presence, but they didn't seem to have a similar thing. And then she mentioned how this whole thing has been so brilliantly organized that it appears there was a certain rehearsal, and we're seeing the after effect of the rehearsal, especially of the police, and the EC having conducted or comported itself really very well. We had no ifs or buts. There was no confusion anywhere throughout the constituency, and we didn't even hear of one arrest. And to her, it really is testament to how well this election has been organized and how prepared they've been, and having come all the way into the constituency, conducted or carried themselves so well that no member of the constituency can raise any complaints against either the EC or the officials who supervise the election in this constituency. We're still down here waiting for some more polling stations to come in, and when finally we've received all the polling centers, the returning officer will then mount the podium behind me, and the board or the billboard will be raised where all the numbers will be displayed on. But Mr. Tanko has given us a certain window into what the outcome is more than likely to be. And for him, it really is testament to how his party is well accepted within this community and this constituency. Thelma or Morris, if you can hear me, back to you in the studio.
Welcome back. It's our continuing coverage of the by-election in the Ayawaso East constituency. So far, counting is still underway. Lots of the figures will have to be sent to the collation center at St. Kizito, and they will be all put together before a final determination of the true number at the close of polls will be determined, and we'll get a fairer idea of what the percentages are. We are keeping close eyes on that St. Kizito Center, and as and when there are more figures to share with you, we'll be sure to do so. For now, Roger is still in the studio with me. As the numbers trickle in, I want to glean your thoughts. The showing by Umar Sanda. In some of the polling stations, the numbers are quite interesting to see. Does it surprise you? Does it scare you? Does it make you pause for reflection?
As a matter of fact, I'm not surprised. And then he being a member of the community, and then having touch base with the people, I think it's only prudent and proper that he gather quite a number of votes, a convincing number of votes. I think I'm not even seeing the kind of vote he should have been attracting, because he has been on the ground. He's quite popular among the people. But then the numbers that are coming in, it's a clear indication that what the survey that Musa Dankwa did is just an appropriate reflection of how the outcome is going to look like, because Musa Dankwa did indicate that he is likely to pull quite a number of votes, especially in the area where he resides. And it's clear. It's clear. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Do you think he pulled a smarter ground game than you expected?
No. As a matter of fact, I expected him to do more. But looking at the numbers, it's quite obvious that we are going to come out victorious.
I wanted us to talk about the incumbency advantage and what you think is added to this campaign. I was speaking to you and Morris before we went for that report from Alan that we did not see an all-out active campaigning on the grounds in Ayawaso East in the lead up to this election happening. Do you find that that affected anything, or was it just the advantage of the incumbency?
Okay. With respect to the advantage of the incumbency, I would say the advantage on the part of the management and the prudent handling of the affairs of the country played a larger role. In an instance where the government hadn't been able to handle the hem of affairs, then it's going to make the elections very challenging. But on this tangent, I would say the government has prudently managed the economy, has delivered on its promises, and the citizenry can feel the impact. You know, with economy or economics, we always look at the ultimate point where there should be a trickle-down effect in the life of the people. And apparently, every individual can attest to the fact that one way or the other, he or she has benefited from the good governance and the prudent management of this government. Prices of commodities, prices of fuel, prices of goods and services, we cannot disregard or discredit the impact that it has had on us as a people and as a nation. And going into this election, the people of Ayawaso are also benefiting. It's a cosmopolitan environment, and apparently the market is a major market in Accra. I moved from Spintex to Nima Market to get certain household consumables. So if these prices that are being touched or influenced by the microeconomic indicators are favorable to Ghanaians, then people of Ayawaso are no exception. So therefore, when we talk about the incumbency having effect, it is as a result of the incumbent government's pragmatic step to better the life of the people that has trickled down, and hence showing forth in this election. But you see, as compared to our brothers on the other side, the NPP, who would have induced or influenced this election with state resources and stuff, you didn't see that in our by-election. We didn't go there with government structures trying to paint a picture of constructing or constructing drainage, building or breaking down buildings, showing any kind of cosmic effect to attract votes. This is a natural pattern. We allowed the natural order to play out so that we can be able to appreciate the reality of the voter pattern. No one can come and say that he went to vote because government was about constructing a market, a school building, or anything. Whatever activity that is ongoing in the constituency started from day one when we assumed office. The runabout that we are reconstructing, it started from day one. So no individual, not even the NPP, can point fingers at us to say, we are using the incumbent government's advantage or we are using an undue advantage against them. We went into this election free and fair, and we expect that the people would vote based on the reality of economic situations and good governance.
So let's bring our viewers up to speed by way of a summary of what we've seen so far. Polls have closed an hour and a half ago across the constituency at the scheduled time, and the ballots in many of the polling stations have been counted, and collation is expected to get underway. Officials are getting ready for the collation and the declaration of the results. On your screens, you can see at the St. Kizito School, just around the Nima roundabout, the officials are getting ready. More and more of the polling stations are bringing their ballot boxes and the ballot papers. We are seeing electoral officers, returning officers from the polling stations coming over to submit their pink sheets to the collation officers. A number of party or candidate agents are there. We can see them in your shots, also waiting to witness the collation process. Once all those numbers are tallied and verified, we should expect an official declaration of the results. As I'm sure you've heard, turnout has been extremely, extremely low, and calls for peace and order continue to remain the focus. Earlier, the NDC's candidate, Mr. Baba Jamal, urged his supporters to be calm and be law-abiding. More of the action will be happening at this collation center until the eventual declaration. Over 40,000 were registered to vote, close to 50,000 actually. Less than half that number showed up at the polls today to cast their vote. Let's connect once again to Chris Atadika, a political marketing strategist, to glean his thoughts on the process so far. Chris, we spoke to you earlier today, and we went into some of the factors that could determine or swing the pendulum one way or the other. As you've monitored across several platforms today, what has been your impression so far about the itself, the EC's conduct, and the security that we've seen in this by-election?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Telman.
You're welcome, Chris.
Yeah, I believe that since morning, the conversation has been that we are going to experience an election that would have heavy security presence, and it's only because of the issues that have surrounded particular process. Now, we have had a case where several events or situations led up to this particular election. So it was only right that you had all countries' eyeballs glued to this particular election to see what was going to happen. So in terms of the security forces being on the ground to ensure that there is peaceful election, and we had an election without violence. That was very much expected. I believe that the issue also of the low voter turnout was somewhat expected because we are not in normal times with respect to the demographics of majority of the people in the constituency and in most of the electoral areas. Now, this is a constituency that has majority of Muslims, where currently they are observing Ramadan. So you could see that alone, that in itself, had a way of affecting the activities of people. A lot of people had to stay up during early hours of the morning to get something to eat before the actual time commences for the fast throughout the day. So it led to people not waking up early to come out to vote. We thought that was going to change as the hours progressed. Unfortunately, we still had instance. We are still experiencing, or we experienced a situation where people didn't come out.
And so we would want you to reposition yourself so we can hear you a bit better. I'm hoping that that will do the trick, as it appears that we are having some interference with your sound. Chris Atadika is trying to lend his expertise as a political marketing strategist on the events we've witnessed from morning up until now, where this by-election is concerned. I'm hoping that, Chris, we would have a better signal. Can we try again?
Hello?
Okay, it sounds like you are positioned better. I can definitely hear much better from what you were saying. If you could kindly go over what you've submitted to us once again. We lost you along the way, so we're not able to follow through your argument.
So my point I was making is that the election was very much anticipated because of the events that led to this particular thing. So it was very much expected that we were going to have high security presence on the grounds during the election. I do not think that was the reason why we experienced a low voter turnout. We also have to factor in the demographic of majority of the people in most of the electoral areas, polling stations, and the entire constituency. Now you have majority of people of the Islamic faith, and for Muslims, they are not in normal times. They are observing Ramadan. So it was expected that today was going to be a very, I don't want to use the word dull moment, but a lot of them observing Ramadan or observing the fast would mean that they wouldn't be that very active. And also considering that in the early hours of the morning, most of them had to wake up to get something to eat, to prepare themselves for the official time commencing in the morning. So that is what we observed in the early hours of voting. People didn't come in. People didn't come out to go and vote. We thought that was going to change later in the day. Unfortunately, it did not. So I believe that it presents a very interesting situation. But with the counts coming in and results coming from various centers, it is not expected based on the polls that came out leading to this particular election. The unfortunate scenario now is the absent mandates that we have experienced.
And as we talk about the low voter turnout, once again we find ourselves asking whether this is as expected for the number of reasons that you've mentioned or just sheer apathy on the part of the constituents, because this is an urban center, and with nearly 50,000 expected to vote, from the numbers we are seeing at counting, it appears that even less than half the numbers turned up. Should we be concerned about that?
Yeah, I mean, Selma, when we want to ascertain what apathy is, it would mean that all other factors would remain constant. If we have this election during a time where we cannot say that Muslims are not in normal times and they are not observing Ramadan, and this particular low voter turnout situation happens, then we can say that apathy can clearly be deduced from this situation. But in this instance where you have something as prominent as this, people observing a particular ritual that is associated with their people.
Welcome back to the coverage on GBC News and GTV of the Ayawaso East by-election, where currently counting and collation are underway. Most polling stations have concluded their initial counting processes, and we understand from our correspondents that ballot boxes and pink sheets are being transferred to the collation center at Nkizito near the Nima roundabout, where the final figures will be put together and declared officially. Unfortunately, the phone lines have not been friendly to us. We've had to disconnect from Chris Atadika, who is a political marketing strategist. He was explaining some of what we are seeing, talking about voter turnout and apathy and how one could affect the other, or how one is linked to the other. And we'll get back to him for him to share more insights into this. But whilst we try to reconnect with him, let's touch base quickly with Security Coordinator, Mr. Richard Komado, to also share his insights. Mr. Komado, good evening to you. I'm sure that, like us, you've also been following the happenings in Ayawaso East very keenly. What are your initial observations of the security so far? And what, if any, could you say will be the vulnerable spots now that counting and collation and final declaration efforts are being made?
I think it has been peaceful since morning. The police have conducted themselves professionally. We are waiting for the coalition to be done and official results to be announced. Having said that, the two political parties, NDC and NPP, have finished their coalitions and they know who has won and who has lost with actual figures. So that is where we are. Number two, we will want the police to stand their ground to the extent that the two parties have known who has won and who has lost, let nobody get into the inner perimeters and create problems. If they are able to hold them up, and within the next few minutes by 7 or 7:30, the official results is announced, I think we'll be fine and everybody will go home.
Okay, so we should expect a final declaration per your expert opinion within what frame of time, would you say?
Now, I think by 7:30, Electoral Commission should be able to declare the results. We have an election where the two political parties collate their results at the speed of light, and yet it takes the Electoral Commission forever to be able to collate results and declare. That level of delay also fuels into the level of contentious issues, suspicion, and many of the things we see when it comes to our election. We are told, and I have seen them, where they are also trying to engage in an activity of electronic transfer, just like the political parties do. So if they successfully implement it on this election, then I want to believe that by now, head office of Electoral Commission have gotten the results, and they should be in a hurry to accurately, the word is accurate, accurately declare a successful election at Ayawaso is, and then people can trust them. Other than that, their processes delay a little bit, and it creates some level of discomfort for people.
Right. So you are more or less confirming that the period between collation or counting of results at the polling station and the actual declaration could be a moment of tension that could, if not well handled, be a cause for concern?
Definitely, yes. I agree with you 100%. That is the word.
Okay. What should we be looking out for now that, as you're saying, the political parties have a fair idea who is walking away with the prize at this time? In fact, even before the polls opened at 7 a.m., there was a fair anticipation that the NDC's candidate would win. Because it's an NDC stronghold, what kind of security measures should be put in place for the anticipated celebration of the official declaration of the results, if at all? Should we expect that?
You know, once the police have a prerogative responsibility to ensure that the official result is declared and the winner is shown to the whole world, then we can say compliance has been achieved. Once that is done, the police don't have control how people celebrate, except to say that there are public order laws in this country, and if you violate them, whether in celebration or in mourning, you will have some level of discussion with the police.
Before you go, give us some advice on what should be the orderly celebration or mourning of an election result so as not to land on the wrong side of the law.
To the extent that they are in their Ramadan month, they should just break their fast and wait. When they finish the fasting and Ramadan is over, then they can celebrate. To that regard, let's avoid the noise of the motorbikes and the cars within the Nima stretch and the Mamobi stretch and the Kanda stretch. That may lead people in creating accidents and unnecessary traffic for pedestrians and for other road users. And that may lead them into confrontation with the police, which is not necessary at all.
If there were key takeaways from the conduct of this election and key lessons which we can use in our march forward towards a better democratic behavior, what would those be, and what should those conversations be in the coming days?
My grandmother would say that proper prior preparation will always prevent poor performance. So if we can prepare, then we can say that poor performance will be prevented. Come to the job well informed, be conversant with the procedure, be knowledgeable about it, put out your best. And you can see the election officers put up their best as to where we are now. The competency of the police agents is key, and the professional conduct of the police. That is giving us the result.
I'm tempted to say that enough commendation has perhaps not been given to the people themselves for going through this process so peacefully, for adhering to all the calls, to all the laws, and to all the measures that have been put in place, especially because we've talked about prejudices and the ideas and the notions that people have that Ayawaso East constituency, particularly the Nima and Mamobi areas, are not entirely the safest of places to be. What do you think about that?
I love Nima. I have monitored the elections since 1992. People have that idea about them, but these are lovely people. Yeah, there could be one or two issues here and there, but by and large, I agree with you. I think we need to commend them. We need to praise them that they are working hard to erase that perception and impression people have about them.
All right, Mr. Kumado, thank you so much for the time you've spent with us. I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to engage you in the coming days so we can better situate what we've witnessed today during this Ayawaso East constituency by-election. Thank you for your time. Mr. Richard Kumado is a security consultant, and he's been sharing his impressions and opinions about the entire day's proceedings with us. We are keeping our cameras still firmly on that collation center at St. Kizito. It appears that what we are seeing in our shots now, you see it very shortly, is the inner perimeter of the collation center. Access to this portion of the center is very restricted, and if you do not have the appropriate accreditation, you may even have a reason to be within the collation center, but this perimeter would be largely out of bounds to members of the general public. The people that you see there would presumably have gone through some accreditation process which would accord them the privilege of being in that space. It looks like the election officials for the different polling stations are coming over to give their pink sheets, submit their ballot boxes to the collation center officials, where the actual tabulation of figures and what other stuff that needs to be done will be done. Like Mr. Kumado said, many of the figures are already within the online portals of the major political parties, and the polling agents have reported back from all the polling stations where they were stationed, and no doubt there is a figure that is circulating purporting to be the final numbers that we are supposed to have recorded in this contest. But we'll wait for the Electoral Commission returning officer who has the legal mandates to declare the results to be the one to do so. So as the security consultant has also said, if you find yourself within the environs of this constituency, this Ayawaso East constituency, a broadcasting house is one of the many, many businesses cited here. You would want to be mindful of the traffic. You would want to be mindful of persons on the streets, perhaps jubilating, perhaps very pensive about the events of the day. And you may want to also be respectful of their sentiments around this time. I'm looking now at pictures from Collation Center, and I'm seeing our two gentlemen having a tete-a-tete, perhaps going through the events of the day. And it has been a long day indeed for Darrell and Theophilus and Gifty and Morris and Doreen and myself, and the scores of others who are working behind the cameras that you cannot see. But we would not be leaving here anytime soon until the EC makes that determination. So, Alan, I'm sure you can hear me as we get ready for the final numbers to be told to us. What's the feel of the place? We understand that the parties already may have their own declarations tabulated and communicated already. So what's the feel of the place right now?
Various clusters, from the Nima cluster of schools, from Mamobi, all the way from the Presby, Nima Presby, as well as the Nima St. Timothy Anglican Church. And it's been a fantastic day on overall, in my view, given how some by-elections have gone in this country. But my colleague Theo is with me, and so I'll find out if he holds the same or shares the same view, whether he saw any funny acrobatic movement where he was. Theo, you find that funny, huh? Good evening. Welcome to St. Kizito. This is the Collation Center. What's been your overall impression with the whole exercise?
Thank you very much. And we started to get into. It's been an eventful one. Seriously, I need to dove my heart out for everybody, all the actors that really played their role. I mean, the electorates that really came to exercise their civic responsibility. It's something Constitution mandates us to do. Can you imagine you being in a constituency like Ayawaso East, and then somebody just wakes up one morning and decides for you who will be your leader? So they give you the opportunity. This is nature, gives you opportunity that your sitting MP has been called by nature. So dies and then, okay, come back again and then select somebody to represent. And lo and behold, we had enough. But you see, the enough wasn't enough. That's what has become the subject of the day. Right. The factors that really are there are clearly for everybody to really understand. The first one is that they know the constituency itself believes that they are for the NDC. And so it will take something extra special for somebody outside the NDC colors or the NDC family to arrest that seat or snatch that seat from them. And so looking at the previous election, two things comes in. Indeed, we voted for an NDC person to lead us again in this constituency. As nature has it, the person had to die. Sympathy vote must come in. Somebody will say, okay, if we want to even change the direction of this constituency, let's not do it when somebody had died on the job.
Right. So let's look critically at the various actors who participated in this election. We had two independent candidates. We had the obvious NDC, the MPP. We also had an outsider, I would call him, the LPG, who all made this event one exciting one. But let's narrow it down to the key players, the police, the EC, who one played the referee and the other supervised peace and fairness. How would you sum up their contributions?
First and foremost, the EC, that happens to be the supervisors. I think the EC has really done a yeoman's job. This is really what we want to see from our Electoral Commission. For some time now, some months now, some years back, the EC has been battered. In fact, they've been bruised. Some have brutalized them, some whatever. Some vilified them for various reasons. But the EC has stood the test of time to really prove to the whole nation and to the world that indeed, if even you suspect them, you feel they are that bad, they are good. And out of 10, I'll take 9.5 for them, seriously.
Wonderful. Will you say the police strategically contained the constituency so that people could not even think or fathom misbehavior?
Well, in the first place, if we paint that picture that a constituency like Ayawaso East, quote unquote, is a place where we can see a little bit of deviancy, and so there will be disturbances here and there. Yes, the police had their intelligence. The police have been with us all throughout. And what really even made the police wake up once more was the internal primary that took place. That gave everybody the indication that if care is not taken and some steps are not taken, certain things will not go the way we want it. Everybody wants to wake up in the morning, have that freedom of going to my work, have that freedom of knowing that I have a plan I need to execute. Not to wake up in the morning and say there is a curfew because somebody wants to just represent a group in parliament, and so there should be chaos, there should be bloodshed, there should be mayhem. And so the police dot their I's, cross their T's, and they did so well. Indeed, the police too have come under intense criticisms when it comes to elections, and we know previous elections, previous by-elections that people use to cite examples. But as an institution, if you are growing, you make mistakes and you grow. And I think that the police have learned quickly and they've done what needs to be done, and they need to be commended. It's not about how many they were.
Thank you. Thank you for that very apt observation. But let's look at voter turnout. Were you surprised by what we saw in terms of voter numbers?
Indeed, I was shocked a little bit, but later I realized after reading through the lines again, I realized that indeed it is likely to happen this way. The reason just being that most of the people who even refused, from where I sit, interactions I had with people on the ground who even refused, said that indeed they, even if they want to change now, it is not be on this by-election that they will change. They will change when it is the general elections, because they just want to respect the memory of the departed. And so we will not even come out there to be tempted and saying we are voting. You let the young ones just go and vote. So a lot of people didn't vote just to show respect to the departed, because it was with them.
What would you say was your most bizarre encounter, if any, throughout your errands across the constituency?
That a whole place like Ayawaso East, where when you breathe, you feel the National Democratic Congress. And I see our mothers that do the zuzaza at their shops, minding their own business. And there is an election going on just around them across the streets. They will come and exercise their franchise, and everybody is going about their business and saying that, Charlie, that's what that took me up. But nothing onto what happened, and all of them were just going about their duties and saying that, Charlie, is a done deal for us. That's it. That took me by surprise. That people looked as if they were the uncared people, but in this constituency, there's nothing like I don't care.
Awesome.
Didn't see it happen.
Now let's look at what we would describe in the street language as the goat of all. What will you say was the goat of all? Whether political actor, whether police, whether EC official, which of those would you say was the goat of all for you?
My goats will always be the politicians. Coming around and then I've interacted with all the aspirants, and everybody was.
Interestingly, I encountered Mustafa Bande, I encountered Chairman Buga, I encountered Dr. Charles Jomina, and I also encountered Mr. Rashid Tanko, and I have my goat. But which of these did you encounter?
Me, I had the opportunity to interact with 3 of the aspirants, and then some MPP bigwigs like Mr. Boache Jaku, who came around earlier on. I had former MPP General Secretary John Bwedu around. I had Nana B and co around. I had the MP for Sunyani coming down to just come and support the NDC, and they were saying all those things. So I looked at all of them and said, you people, you are not on the ground here. It is the grounds that are talking. It is a Tuesday market here in Nima and its environs, and you want them to leave everything and come and do this as a sheep.
Well, so you are lumping all of them together as your goat. Well, Maurice and Thelma, that is Tio and his usual mischief. But honestly, we have really enjoyed ourselves on the ground. I mean, every polling center presented its own dynamics, and they presented it with their own story. There are some polling stations you walk into and you know there's something taking place, and there are some you enter and you ask yourself,
seriously, I got to a place, they were sitting there. When they saw me not there, they woke up. I also relax, what's happening, Charlie? Said that, report and tell the people to come. We are sitting there, we are not doing anything. So I was looking at that, I said, but you are working to be paid, so come and make up. They said, oh no, there's something wrong, because as for this corner, there are only 400 people and they will come. But look, it is 10. Only 11 people are here. Only 12 people are here. So if you are here, you just announce it for us so that people will come, because we can't be sitting down doing nothing. I looked at them and I said,
when somebody told me, please, when you're reporting, also do not forget to add the fact that voter turnout is low and that people should come out and vote. I asked him on the quiet, are you going to give me solid?
So it got to a time when Baba Jama came around to exercise his franchise, it was going. Then the polling agents over there started telling the constituency executives that, Charlie, all these people are annoying. So I was thinking, are they going to do the door to door? Because this time,
eventually that happened. Some went knocking on doors, reminding people to turn up and exercise their franchise. One of the most outstanding moments for me was when someone turned up in a wheelchair. and they also had some visibility issues. And this particular people at this polling center took all the time in the world to ensure that they actually did exactly what they wanted for the person. And for me, that is also testament to how far the EC has come in terms of preparation for whether main election or by-election. Indeed, it's been a great day. It's been a fantastic day. I would not have missed this day for any other day. Really and truly, I'm not calling for another by-election out from the demise of anyone, but if it would come, it should come every 4 years.
We don't want any by-election. Charlie, the wahala behind the scenes is too much. But sincerely, it's been good, and once again, kudos to everybody at Ayawaso East constituency for really doing. If even you didn't come out to exercise your franchise, you didn't cause any trouble, and I think that it's a plus for you. Now is the real deal. You finished exercising your franchise. Be part of the governance process. Don't say we voted for individual A, so we expect him to do all the job. He can't or she can't do all the job. You also have your role to play. Just like the way you came out in your numbers to issue your thumb to tell him that I'm giving you the numbers to go and represent us. Look at your constituency and how things are going and decide, and that is what you've done. So expect that you voted for your gutters that have been choked to be cleaned. You voted that your street lights that are not working should work. Taps that are not flowing should flow. The way your meters, you are looking for meters, you cannot get meters in this constituency, so you need to be forced to do illegal connection.
All right, Theo, I see some movement around the track, and that is to say that EC is now shutting down shop and hand over the rest of the evening to the police and the actual returning officer. Let's also hand back to studio, and once that movement is aligned, we will join them and tell the nation who has eventually been elected to represent the people of the Ayawaso East constituency. Back to you, Thelma and Morris. Thank you very much for joining us here too.
Welcome back to the studio, and thank you to Theo and Alan, who are on the ground live at the Collation Center for this Ayawaso East by-election. We are back in the studio, but we'll take you back to the center once the verified and approved results are ready to be declared, and we'll get some more insights and details for you. For now, we'll turn our focus to this and other stories making the rounds in news circles, and my colleague Shirley Annan has joined us with the updates for that. Shirley, good evening to you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is still GBC News, and coming up in news, Ayawaso East awaits results as coalition begins amid low voter turnout. Also in the news, the government reinstates 1,539 recruitments, appointments and promotions under Akufo-Addo post December 7 and revokes 541, and 9 public officers arrested in connection with undeclared tramadol at Tema Port. Also in news, Patricia Sedua, also known as Nana Agrada, released from prison after 9 months.